glow. February is ice and sleet, freeze the toes right off your feet. Welcome March with wintry wine, thou wert not so unkind. April brings the sweet spring showers, on and on for hours and hours. Photosphere unkindly May, frost by night and hail by day. June just rains and never stops, 30 days and spoils the crops. In July the sun is hot. Is it shiny? No, it's not. August cold and dark and wet, brings more rain than any yet. Late September's mist and mud is enough to chill the blood. Then October adds a gale, wind and slush and rain and hail. Dark November brings the fog, should not do it to a dog. Freezing wet December then, bloody January again. That's a little Flanders and Swan to start out for giggles. Oh, spare mic. Well, he might need a spare mic. Where the hell are we going to put it? Just shout real loud. Well, we can't set it on here. Do we have one of those? Oh, wait. Hang on. We don't have. Do we have one of those tall microphone stands?
We'll get it. Put the mic down.
What?
Put the mic down.
Yes, sir. How do you do that without moving your lips? That's amazing, dude. You could be a ventriloquist, a ventriloquist, right? Ventriloquist. Help me! Thank you. You should be one of them. I promised myself I was not going to start drinking until my story hour, but I never keep my promises to myself. That's yours? Is that enough? Oh, wait. Let me give you some. Hang on, I'll give you some wine. There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I say they're trying to hear you. Besides, we haven't started. Oh, hi! Hi! What the hell? Oh, is that for him? Oh, well, give it to him then, for God's sake. He's supposed to drink at room temperature, isn't he? Oh, I'm sorry. That's how the English do it, isn't it? Sorry. Let me tell you about this guy up here. For Apricon, he wanted Guinness. So I got him like 85,000 bottles of Guinness. And he's like, balls? Only the English drink it out of balls. And he wouldn't touch it. I'm like, is that true that you won't touch it because that's how the English drink it? Then why didn't you drink it? Oh, you did? Oh, never mind then. Why were there so many bottles left over? Well, that's probably because I got 60 of them. We're not... Yeah, that's the name. Merc. You have to say it. You say it first. You have to say America first. He says it better than any American does. We still got a minute and a half. We ain't starting until then.
2, 1, 2. Hey, Ollie. Aye, 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Testing calls. 1, 2, 2. Yeah.
He's a pro.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
See, this is the daunting thing about performing with a professional. He's like doing all this pro stuff, and I'm like, is my zipper up? Okay, I guess I'm ready.
No, I still forget that sometimes as well.
No, you're fine.
It's up now.
I think we get more people in the room.
It's, okay, what is this fucking Yomicon? What's going on here? Oh, thank you guys, you're a little late, but okay. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm Uncle Kage, but that doesn't matter. I'm up here with freaking Fox and Moore. Jesus Christ! I will never forget the first day I met this man. It was at Eurofurence, and he came up to me and he said something that I will never forget. He said, "I spilled coffee on my shirt." Like, no problem. He was wearing a nice shirt, and he spilled coffee on it. So I said, "Excuse me, aren't you Fox and Moore, the famous Scottish musician?" And he said, "Aye." That's all he said. He was a man of few words. So I said, "Well, I always dress. Come to my room. I shall let you wear one of my shirts." We went to my room and I gave you one of my shirts, and that's when I learned just how much of a fucking fat ass I am. He disappeared entirely into it. He could have made a 16-room condominium out of my shirt, and it was still too tight on me. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
And that was how many years ago?
6 years.
And you haven't you're the same goddamn weight. How do you do it? European part, I forgot, sorry. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, are you European? Do you count as European? The English don't count as European. They're the Brexiters ones, right? Scotland didn't want to Brexit, did they?
No, we did not.
Anyway, that's Fox and Moore. And I'm Uncle Kage. I basically make noises with my face that are cacophonic. He makes amazing, beautiful piano music to try to drown me out, so you will all be entertained. I am going to take my phone, and I am going to put it here. Do you know why? Shall I tell you? What the hell con was it I was at? I had my phone, and it was in my pocket. And I'm up here and I'm being stupid. I'm Uncle Kage, I'm drunk, and I'm blah, blah, yeah, I make noise, yada, yada. And my pocket started talking to me. I'm like, the hell? Who's talking in my pocket? And I looked. My phone had managed to dial somebody. Did it dial Mom? Did it dial Alkali? Did it dial Fox and Moore? Or did it decide to dial Dr. Thomas Feinberg, the foremost expert in my field of chemistry? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Hello, Dr. Feinberg. You know, it's a funny thing that I have to be calling you right now. And he said, "Are you doing one of your performances?" And I said, "Yes, actually." He said, "Call me when you're done." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Tom is a cool guy, but the phone's going over here. I don't my phone there. So, this fine, talented pianist and me, we haven't rehearsed this. As a matter of fact, I don't think you've even heard the stories I'm going to tell this time, have you? What I like about this man is, he's him. I mean, what else is it? All right. So basically I tell stories and I drink wine and I do the two of them until I fall down. This year at Convergence in Melbourne, finally, after 11 years, I finally fell down. Yeah, I fell down, I tripped and fell down on stage. And they're like, we've been waiting 11 years for this! Now many of you, does Australia have a national anthem? No, it's not. It's like Come On Australia or something like that. Come On Australia! Look it up! Look it up on the wikis. Anyway, I used to be a native of Philadelphia. I'm not anymore. I live in North Carolina. That's down south. So I'm going to have to put on the nice thick North Carolina accent from now on. Which I can't really do a North Carolina accent because I'm 50% Alabama and 50% Northern, so North Carolina's in the middle. But I've been working for a number of months for a company that is located 2 hours away from my home. It's a very, very long commute for me. The money's good, but it's a bit of a drag. So I was driving along in the wee hours of the morning, and so he can understand what I'm saying. The wee hours of the morning. Oh, however did you know? Thank you very much. Dr. Lawson, amazing shit. It's good stuff, good, yes. And I was driving along. Now, because I have such a long commute, I have purchased a dash cam. It's entirely coincidental that I like watching the Russian dash cam videos on YouTube. It has nothing to do with it. So I had purchased a dash cam for myself because it's good to have a silent witness with a 2-hour commute. I have not really captured anything, but I have gone back and listened to a couple of the clips of me driving. It still is educational. I had no idea that I swear that much when I'm driving. It's like every 15 seconds, God, get that miserable piece of shit, you fucking idiot! Who the I will come and I will fuck you in the face. Get the fuck out of my way, Grandma. See, every 15 seconds. If I were to put this on YouTube, it'd be beep, 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 you fuck, beep, beep, beep. I should. Yeah, I get 3 strikes. But again, I'm a native of Philadelphia. That's part of our culture. When you're driving, you are supposed to be belligerent and you're supposed to be vocally assaulting other drivers. If not, it shows weakness. You cannot show weakness on the highway pack because some other alpha will come and drive you off the road. Well, I was driving along on my way down to the coast, Wilmington, and I'm driving along and I'm swearing, even when there's no other cars on the road, just to stay in practice, I'm swearing at myself. Where the fuck are all those fucking idiots? God damn it, there's usually a bunch of this stupid goddamn fucking kids at this hour. And I saw something in the road ahead of me. I thought, oh dear, there is something in the road ahead of me. It was probably not a good idea to be driving at 95 miles an hour. If I had this to do all over again, I'd be doing the speed limit. But this something in the road was coming up very fast, so I attempted to swerve around it. And I almost did. And I heard... And I said, well, fuck. So I pulled over. And I got out and I looked. The left front tire. My favorite tire. It was here. And it was there. And it was there. And I said, oh, this ain't good. So I went and I got the spare, and I put the spare on. Let me give all you young folk a word of advice. Put air in your spare tire periodically. Because you forget about it, don't you? Every time you get your car serviced, put air in the goddamn spare. It was flat. However, my late father, 7 years ago for Christmas, bought me a present, which is a little electric tire pump. I was like, yeah, thanks, Dad. I tossed it in the trunk. And 7 years later, 2 years after his death, I was saying, Dad, I love you. So I went to the tire and I said, I'm going to pump you up. And I did. Now, you know you're driving on a little donut and your car is like this. And they call it a donut because you're afraid it's going to like lose its icing at every time you come around the corner. I'm limping along the highway. I'm going to find myself a nice, National Tire and Auto or Firestone or something. But this is North Carolina. The middle of North Carolina. When I looked at my phone, there, Tom? No. When I looked at my phone, I had Ray's Tire and Auto, Bob's Tire and Auto, Billy's Tire and Auto, Billy Ray Bob's Tire and Auto. So I decided, let's go to Billy's Tire and Auto first, it's closest. So I limped the car to Billy's Tire and Auto, and I pulled in, and Billy came out. I said, yo, Billy, I need a tire. He said, oh, we don't got those. Well, maybe you should have changed the name to Billy's Auto. What about the tire part? He said, oh, we order those. I said, well, that's peachy, but I kind of got to get to work. He said, well, that's not a problem. Do you need to work before Wednesday? Yeah. So, what should I do? He said, well, you need to go to Ray's Tire and Auto. Because he's got tires. I said, that's nice that he's Tire and Auto. So I limped the car to Ray's Tire and Auto. And I went in, and the fellow behind the counter, I said, hey, Ray. He said, oh, I'm not Ray. Oh, I'm sorry. I need me a tire. I blew out my favorite tire. Left front one. He said, well, Ray's the mechanic. He won't be here for another hour and a half. I said, I really kind of get to work. What do you suggest I do? He said, oh, that's not a problem. You just got to find yourself another shop. Great, thanks, Ray. Mr. Ray substitute. So I drove down the road a ways to Bob's Tire and Auto. Bob's Tire and Auto was a big place. I pulled in Bob's Tire and Auto and I went into the little waiting room. And there's a couple of things I noticed. Your leg!
Things were on fire. She's good.
You know, when I used to teach chemistry classes at the top of the hour, I'd lock the door. I was a dick. Students hated me. Anyway, where was I? Was this? Oh, this is Bob's Tire and Auto, right? I went to Bob's Tire and Auto, and I'm waiting in the waiting room. There was a big bay back there with a bunch of cars and a bunch of mechanics who were like sitting around drinking coffee, and they kept talking. Occasionally they'd glance in my direction, but then they'd keep on talking. And I was looking at my watch, and I was looking around, and they had all these mounted heads on the wall. There's a deer, and an elk, and a Democrat, and they had a giant sign by the cash register that said, "This is not a gun-free zone." And I said, maybe I should just probably move on down the road. So I drove on down to Billy Ray Bob's Tire and Auto. Billy Ray Bob's Tire and Auto was a little bit of a misnomer because I would have expected a guy named Billy Ray Bob to speak English. He was more like Billy Ray Jose. Billy Ray Jose comes out. He looks and he says, "Yo man, we need a tire." I say, "Yes, Billy Ray Jose, I need a tire." He said, "Give me one moment." He walks in the back, he comes back and says, "Do you want a new one or a juiced one?" I said, "Give me a juiced one." So he comes back with a tire, rolls it down, sticks this little thing under the car. 8 minutes later, there's a new, or at least juiced tire on my car. I said, "How much?" He says, "Just give me $30. It's not really called Billy Ray Bob's Tire and Auto. I'll give you the actual name. I will recommend it highly. The guy did a fantastic job. But I got down there to work, and they said to me, "Why were you so late?" And I said, "I'm Uncle Kage, don't question me." That's a lie, no laugh. That's great. I just totally made that shit up. The last part, the whole Billy Ray Bob's was true. I remember years ago, it was not this exact area of the country, but it was kind of this area of the country, north, central, like the movie Fargo area. Was it Minneapolis, that's right, Minneapolis. I was visiting an old friend of mine, this is many years ago. He had a different name back then. He's got a new name now, you call him Kyle Gold now. I was visiting him, and he showed me this was January, and he showed me his Minnesota license plate. It said, "Minnesota, a cold, gray place to die." Yes, it was. Well, we went to the Mall of the Americas because there's absolutely nothing else to do in Minnesota except go to the Mall of the Americas or die. And I figured the first option was a little more fun. So we went to the Mall of the Americas, and they had a student art exhibit that caught my attention. Student art exhibit. It was for 4th grade students. And the assignment was the student was supposed to create a character and then write a little 1 or 2 line, description of the character. That's a furry thing, right? I was, let's see what we got. And I'm looking at these little kids, and it was so cute. Just Mr. Bun Bun is a rabbit over here, and the great deer of the forest. And I'm looking at all the characters they created. And then I come around the corner, and I saw the 2 kids that I knew sat next to each other. Because I turned around, and there was this circle with some concentric circles inside and a big black line kind of going into the center of them. And the narrative said, "Mr. Eye of Death has only one eye. His other eye was poked out with an ice pick." I said, "This is my kind of kid. I like this kid." What's this next to him? This one next to him has this sort of green, amorphous, vaguely humanoid figure. And the narrative said, "Snot Man is a depressed middle-aged guy who lives with his mom." These are 11-year-olds. in Minneapolis. Some of you folks, a couple of minutes ago, might have been here for the Con Horror Stories panel. There was a horror story that I was itching to tell, but I didn't, because I want to tell it here. And it definitely violates the 2-year rule. We're not supposed to talk about, stuff that happens for 2 years. As a matter of fact, it probably violates a lot of rules. But, I'm the chairman. What the fuck do I care? I make the rules. How many people here have been to Anthro? This big, shadowy outline of hands, I see. All right, when this donation has died down, I shall continue the story. I stole that from Victor Borger. Those of you who have been around Anthro may be familiar with Officer Bill Kisner. He is the very, very large African-American police officer who kind of helps to keep order around Anthro. Very, very friendly, very jolly gentleman. He's usually down in the lobby. Bill is our cop. He is basically the Anthro cop. We adopted him years ago. You know how furries like adopt people and they can't get away? What? Yes! We got Joaquin Baldwin the same way. If you notice when Joaquin Baldwin posts all those beautiful photographs, you have to look them under ultraviolet light. There's little words in them that say, "Please help, save me, get me out of here." It's true. Anyway, this past year, I know I'm going to get in trouble, but I don't fucking care. Maybe they'll fire me. Oh, please fucking fire me. We had a visitor at Anthro this year. We called this the Wednesday night incident. Did you hear about this? Yeah, Fox knows about this. Yeah, there's some people in there. Wednesday night at Anthro this year, an individual arrived. Okay. At this point, I will offer advance apology. I want to be sensitive. I don't mean to insult anybody. I'm serious here. This is not any intention to make anybody feel bad or to be down on anybody. This was apparently a man who was in transition who hadn't gotten very far. I would use the female pronouns. This was a lady, but bear in mind the lady was 6'5" and 280 pounds and had shoulders from me to Fox. The lady was had been recreating chemically. That's a good way to put it, right? Yes, recreating chemically, and not in the good way. This individual had misplaced her purse and was getting very agitated because she couldn't find her purse. Now, little did we know, the purse was in Anthro's lost and found the entire time. But this person was becoming extremely agitated. Now, Bill, a consummate professional, that's why we ask for Bill by name every year. Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies, Rock. Bill went up, and he was kind of from a distance keeping an eye on this lady. And when he judged that she was maybe crossing the line to, he went up. Now I have his report, I have my security's report, and they jive. I believe this to be the true story. I was not there. Bill went up and I said, "I beg your pardon, miss. You seem to be very upset about something. Is there something I can do to help you?" And this lady turned around and said, "You can fuck right off," and addressed him in a fashion that used to be used to address African American people. At which point Bill said, "Oh, Bill, I'm afraid this has just crossed over into disorderly conduct. If you'd be good enough, I'd like to ask you maybe to turn around, put your hands behind your back." This individual then jumped him, leaped on our favorite deputy, knocked him down, and they started wrestling on the floor. a call went out. Security, my security, hotel security went running in there, and there was this huge, like Tasmanian devil cartoon, big cloud of dust with fists and feet flying. From within this melee, a voice was heard to say, "So that's what pepper spray smells like." Now, what happened next is a matter of contention. I have multiple reports, so I have chosen to report to you my favorite version. From this dust cloud, flying limbs and everything, came sailing these two objects right into the hands of one of my security guys. Apparently this individual's artificial breasts had come loose. And the security guy's like, well, the melee went on, and everybody was doing their damnedest to keep from hurting this person because she was obviously disturbed, she was obviously not in her right mind, until she started reaching for Officer Kisner's gun. At that point, all bets were off. Officer Kisner valiantly subdued this individual. I put him in for a commendation because shit could have gotten real. I am glad to hear that your kidney is here for your transplant. Congratulations. Anyone else want to take a call? This individual was subdued, and the paddy wagon, am I allowed to still say paddy wagon? Came along, and this individual was put in. Deputy Kisner injured his arm, and he was, seeing some medical stuff, and my security guy came up. And Bill looked and said, "Oh, just put him in lost and found." So they were put in the lost and found. You'll pardon me, I'm going to be pulling something up on my phone that I actually got to read to you, but I will keep telling you what happened in the interim. In the morning, downstairs came the chairman of this convention. After a nice, restful evening, nothing had gone wrong, he got no ill reports, and he was actually feeling very good. He came downstairs, and he looked in the lost and found. And he kind of looked again, and then he said to the duty sergeant, "Excuse me, what are these?" The duty sergeant looked up and said, "Oh, well, that's a pair of jibbly jobblies." And the chairman said, "Well, how nice. What are they doing in my lost and found?" And the duty sergeant said, "Uncle Kage, let me tell you a story. Well, we kept these jibbly jobbies, along with the purse, in our lost and found for quite some time. And after a long time passed, I sent a note to Deputy Kisner, and I said, 'Say, Bill,' call him Bill, 'what should I do with these here jibbly jobblies in that purse?' And Bill said, 'Well, at this point we can call them abandoned property, so send them on in to us and we'll take care of them.' And I said, well, you understand they've been exposed to pepper spray, they need to be decontaminated." He said, "Well, don't worry, we'll take care of that." So I took the purse, and the aforementioned jiggly jollies. And I did my best to decontaminate them. My staff and I went through. I sent them in a box with a letter, and I'm going to read the letter to you now. Very professional. Dear Deputy Kisner, pursuant to our email conversation, I am sending to you the purse that was left unclaimed in Amphicon's Lost and Found, with the appropriate BSI precautions and body substance isolation. My staff opened it for the purpose of verifying it was related to the incident that took place on June 28th at the Westin. It was necessary to remove certain items which have subsequently been discarded to comply with the U.S. Postal Service restrictions. Those items are as follows, and I then listed the items. I have also placed into the purse a plastic bag containing the items referred to in my previous email to you as the Ghibli Jollies, which we have reason to believe are also related to the aforementioned incident. I don't know, but I think Bill's got that on the wall of the sheriff's department right now. Typically, stories like this, you gotta wait 2 years, but that way you couldn't wait 2 years. Fox, you know my mom, right? Any of you guys know my little old mother? My little tiny, dainty, frail little old mother. Oh no, she's a frail little old lady with her cane, and she's so delicate and dainty. You guys might know Ronnie. Ronnie came to visit. I hope he's not here. Ronnie came to visit, and I said, hey Ronnie, I've got some tickets. We're going to take Mom out. Raleigh is having a wine festival. So I thought, let's take Mom to the wine festival. So we took Mom to the wine festival. And because she's a tiny, dainty, frail, little, fragile old lady, I dropped her and Ronnie off and then drove the 85 miles to find a parking space. And I came back. Mom had her cane, and you know, I'm a frail little old lady. Oh, look how fragile and frail I am. You guys see where this is going, don't you? They had 70 or 80 wineries represented in a wonderful, big, huge area. But take it from a person where event coordination is a second business, they didn't do such a good job. Because the individual wineries had set up their little booths with the wine and little cups and everything, but they hadn't trained their sommeliers in how to keep a crowd moving. This was a problem. Because at each one of these things, there was a giant line of 70, 80, 90, 100 people stretching back at every single booth. And at the front, the sommelier is saying, oh, well, this one here has a very lovely OPM, this one, okay, now try this one, and now we're going to compare that to basically taking the two people at the front and spending 15 minutes in going through all the wines with them. And the line wasn't moving. So I was looking around and I said to Ronnie, I'm going to find a chair for Mom so she's not on her feet. And I went looking for a chair. I didn't find a chair. When I came back, I found my mom with her cane going through the crowd going, out of the way, old lady coming through, out of the way, one side, old lady coming through. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so sorry, stop, Mom, I'm very, very sorry, Mom, really, my mother's a little, Mom, what is? She pushed, literally beating people aside with her cane. She got up to the front, smacked her glass down, and is telling all the people, give me her glasses, come on, give me her glasses. And she got all the glasses, she tells the surrounding, give me the bottle, here's how you do it, just go, right, okay, right. She filled like 18 glasses. And got the idea. And, well, that's how the day went. The thing is, we went to 50, 60, 80, 100 of these booths. Mom tried all the wines. All of them. Some of them several times, the ones she liked. And then there were some of them that if you really liked it, they'd give you a full glass. Well, I decided that maybe the day was done. So I left Mom with Ronnie and I went to get the car. When I pulled the car back, Ronnie, he's a good man. He's got Mommy. She's, got her elbow around his arm. But just her elbow because she's got 2 giant full glasses of wine. And she started opening the back door of the car. I said, "Whoa, wait! What the hell do you think you're doing?" She said, "You're going home." I said, "You are not getting in the car with 2 full glasses of wine." And she said, "It's okay, I'm not driving." I said, "It doesn't matter. It's the law. You cannot have an open container of alcohol in the cabin." She said, "Oh, well, that's a stupid law." I said, "Mom, look at me. You're not getting in the car with those glasses of wine, and that's final." She said, "Oh, okay." She got the book and said, "There, are you happy?" I said, "Let's get you home first." Now I gotta refill my glass. By the way, this you cannot see. I really wish you could. I was given this lovely glass. This label on it, it's basically like a prescription label. Just what the doctor ordered. I'm not going to tell them about the rat. They would be bored by that. But I can tell them, I was mentioning horror stories. I'll mention another horror story. This was years ago, and I think it was Midwest. I've been to more than 300 conventions in my life. They all run together in my head. I just didn't. But this one, it was in a ballroom, and I know, I was there, telephone was there, and we're doing, we're being funny. And it led into my story hour. They had a big high ceiling. There was this, I'm an emergency services guy. This made me nervous. There was one door leading out. I always get antsy with that. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, should there be any incidents, please notice there are exits to your left. There are 2 exits to the left. There's 1 immediately behind you and 2 on the right. Use the nearest exit door if necessary. In this room, there was only 1 door, and it was like right here. And that was bad enough. But some idiot had let a balloon go. And right over the door was an air handler unit, and this balloon was going pop. It was like the telltale heart. It's like, God, someone stop it! Villains, dissemble no more! I admit the deed! Tear up the place! It's the beating of his hideous heart! Thank you very much. I spit on your mic. Break. Ready? Okay. This balloon is just going... And I made the mistake of saying, halfway through the story hour, could somebody freaking take care of that thing? Here comes, I don't know, Davy Crockett. He pulls out this giant folding buck knife, gets underneath the thing and goes... And missed! And the knife buried please look it up. Because when I finished the story, I couldn't let anyone leave. I'm like, okay, everyone stay in your seats, please. Because there's this giant 18-inch blade of death ready to fall over the only exit from the road. And I found a nice skinny kid, and I said, okay, sneak past him, get the hotel engineer in here quickly. And we're all kind of like, the hotel engineer came in with this giant ladder, and he came in and he said, God damn! Where the hell did that come from? And all the furries said, we don't know. Just here when we got here. Incidentally, any fursuiters in here? This portion of the Uncle Kage story was brought to you by the Easy Cool Down Vest. I have to say that. If you're not familiar with the Easy Cool Down Vest, it was invented by Easy Wolf, who is a Dutch fur. You can tell the Dutch furs because they're all this tall. It's an evolutionary adaptation of night breaks. It's true. Easy Wolf, if you've seen the amazing film Bitter Lake, whose soundtrack was done by this gentleman, Easy Wolf created and played the character of Colonel Reeton Dreer okay, yes, I have a fursuit crush. I like Colonel Dreer. When I first met Colonel Dreer, he's a giant black wolf in like medieval armor. I was at a convention in California. I'd seen Bitter Lake and that was great. And I came around the corner and I'm looking at his stomach. I'm like, wow. Anyway, I had to put that little plug in there. If you're not familiar with the Easy Cool Down Vest, I highly recommend. I do not have any financial interest in the Easy Cool Down Vest. I'm just doing this for a friend. Moving right along. At Africon this year, remember how I said you usually have to wait 2 years for horror stories? I don't fucking care. What are they gonna do? They're gonna fire me. Please, for shit's sake, fire me. Anyway, at Africon this past year, 2000, thank you, whatever they all, ours was a baseball theme. And we had decided for our super sponsors we'd get an extra special additional level for super sponsors. We would get an Anthropon baseball jersey that's going to be, oh, this is only amazing for our Anthropon super sponsors, your home run baseball jersey! Thank you. Well, we got this place in Pittsburgh to order them for us. We're going to get our super sponsors the Anthropon baseball jersey. Tuesday at the convention, I showed up and I looked around saying, where's my Anthropon baseball jerseys? I didn't see them. So I called up the outfit that was supposed to get them. They said, well, we're having them produced in China. Now, I do not for 1 minute suggest that there should be any problems with a trade war with China or anything like that. But these had not arrived. And I said to the lady, okay, I was starting to feel that stirring inside. I described it as when you think you swallowed a cat. They're going to be here tomorrow, right? That's Wednesday? She said, yes, absolutely. Wednesday came, and I called the lady, and I said, where are my jerseys? And she said, they're at Narita. I said, Narita, Pennsylvania? She said, no, Narita, Japan. They're stuck in customs. explain something to you. Number one, my super sponsors are expecting to have these tomorrow when they start arriving. Number two, did I mention I'm Sam Conway with Anthrocon? She said, we very much hope they'll be here tomorrow. And I said, yes, you do. Thursday came, and I didn't see any big boxes. And the lady said, we think they're coming. I said, you think? Okay, this is the era of information. What do you mean you think? She said, well, we're pretty sure. I said, okay, here's how it's going to work. They're going to be here tomorrow. Because that's already a little too late, but it's still Friday the convention. My baseball jerseys are going to be here tomorrow, or I'm going to come down there and talk to you in person. I went to bed Friday morning. I was getting ready to call when my phone rang. U.S. Customs Service. Hello? Hello, we have a shipment for Anthrocon. I said, yes, send it. She said, well, we need to have your federal ID number. I've been putting that on Anthrocon's tax form since 1998. I know it by heart. I rattled it off. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. Great, thank you. 5 minutes later, she called back and said, that's not your federal tax ID number. Yes, it is. That'll fix everything. I'll just tell you, yes, it is. What do you mean? She said, well, we put it into the system and it came back that it wasn't yours. I said, well, ma'am, please don't think me rude, and I shouldn't say this to a lady, but your system is fucked. She said, well, I'm very, very sorry, but the system says that this does not belong to Anthrocon. I said, but it's my tax ID. I registered the game. Okay. Let me make a phone call to the IRS. Fortunately, when you call the IRS, you can get through to a real person in a couple of minutes, can't you? Give me a moment. I don't know if anybody saw me. It was in Hall B. You might have seen me doing this. When I'm going in a circle, don't talk to me, okay? This is what I do. 45 minutes. I was getting very dizzy. Just like now. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, Tom. Let me. I don't. Turn this son of a bitch off. Okay. I called the IRS. And I finally got a lady. I said, hello, IRS lady, I have a problem. Customs says this is not my tax ID number. And she went tappity tappity. Oh, it's okay, it is. Thank you for calling the IRS. Goodbye. I said, oh, wait. I need you to send me something. She said, what's your fax number? I said, fax? I don't know if anybody told you this. This is 2017. I don't know if there is a fax number. Can you email it to me? She said, oh, no, we can only fax it. So I said, don't hang up, for God's sake. I ran down to the convention center office, and the lady in front, do you have a fax number? And she said, but there was a business card. I grabbed the business card, and there was a fax number on the business card. I said, okay, IRS, are you still there? Okay, 412, blah, 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 blah. That's the fax number. Send it to me. She said, okay, I will send it to you. I looked at the convention convention center lady. And she said, I don't know if we have a fax machine. I said, well, there's a fax number on your card. And she said, well, that's been on there for years. Where would you keep the fax machine? And she said, I don't know. So we went looking through all the offices and the cubes. If I was a fax machine, where would I be? Probably against the wall, because it needed a plug in the wall, right? And we're hunting around, and then, somewhere in the distance, we heard... I said, wait! I know that sound! I know! Listen, keep listening! There was a disused cubicle in the corner with a bunch of boxes and shit piled in it. We started throwing the boxes away, and there's this dusty fax machine. The lights were lit up. And a paper comes out. And it says, Dear Empericon, this is your number. Oh, thank God. We ran it to a scanner, a modern scanner. We scanned it, and I emailed it to the lady from customs, and I waited, and I was like, oh boy. And then she called. Oh, hello, customs lady, is that you? She said, yes, is this Empericon? I said, yes, it's Empericon. Did you get the letter? She said, yes. Everything is fine. We put the number in. That is your number. Don't worry about anything. Everything is fine. Your Unc'e cool-down vests are on their way. Come again? She said, your Unc'e cool-down vests. I said, is that easy cool-down vests? She said, yes. Isn't that what you're expecting? And I said, yes. That's what I was expecting. Did it also have any mention of baseball jerseys? She said, no. I said, well, don't worry. I just have another phone call to make. Thank you very much for your help. Thank you. Goodbye. And I hung up. And I left my phone behind. And I went down to the dealer's room. And in the dealer's room, I saw Easy Wolf pacing around like this. He walks in a circle too. I said, hey, Easy. Yo, down here. Hello. You look down. Oh, Uncle Kage, I didn't see you down there. I'm so tall. I said, yes. Are you waiting for your Easy cool-down vest? He said, yes, I don't know why they haven't come. I said, it's okay. I cleared them through customs for you. You owe me 16 cases of wine and a blowjob, you son of a bitch. Incidentally, the baseball jerseys arrived the day after the convention. And the distributor, God bless their little collective hearts, said, we'll mail them out to your people. And they did. To their credit, they did. And I learned something. Extra large in the United States is very different from extra large in China. Go ahead, laugh at my pain. Running very, very short on time. I got a bunch of stuff here. I hardly know what to talk about. But I'm here all weekend and I'll be at the bar. And I'm sure Foxwood too. But, I mentioned my mom before. My mom is fearless. Except when it comes to certain things. Talon with a Y. He's a member of my stuff crew. You've met Cryo. He's one of the guys who runs it. Talon is another one. Talon came to visit me, and we were enjoying an evening. My phone rang. If you know me, you know, don't fucking call me. I don't like people calling me. It bothers me, it interrupts me. But I grabbed the phone and said, Mom. Now, we had already gone through. We were done for the night. When I saw Mom, I sobered up quick. This could be a problem. I grabbed the phone and said, Mom, what's wrong? I could hear her crying. She was almost hysterical. She was hyperventilating. And she was... I said, Mom, calm down. What's wrong? She said, there's a rat in my laundry room. I said, really? Will it still be there in the morning? She said, no, get rid of the rat in my laundry room. I don't want a rat. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Talon, he said, I heard. Let's go. Now, I used to be in the wildlife rehabilitation business years ago. I still have my gloves I used to use for birds of prey, my hawking gloves. Now, they will protect you from any crab except an eagle. No, they will fuck you up, trust me. So I got the hawking gloves, and we're going down, and we're trying to find our way to Mom's house. I know it's only 300 feet down the road, but 6 miles later, we finally stumbled into Mom's place. Talon fell down. I stepped over and said, all right, Mom, she's standing on a chair in the kitchen. It's a rat! It's a rat! All right, she's calm down. Oh, look, go. Here, have some wine. Have some wine. You like some wine? She didn't want it, so I drank it. Her little laundry room is just like a little cubby off the hallway. I said, Mom, I don't see any rat in here, Mom. And she said, no, there's a rat in my laundry. Oh, for God's sake. Where is it? She said, it's under the dryer. Okay, all right. So I get down. I looked under, and I saw 2 little points of orange light. I jumped there and said, whoa! Mom! There's a rat in your laundry room! She says, I know, that's why I called you! I said, okay, all right, sober up. Step 2! Talon kind of constructed this very complicated barricade out of various pieces of furniture, towels, and stray macaroni. So it couldn't get away. And I'm like, I got the big gloves on. I took a broom. Okay, you rat, I'm going to scare you out. And this gray shape jumped up on the back of the little hoses behind the washer. And I looked at it. I looked at it closer. I said, okay, Mom, first off, we're going to work on wildlife identification, okay? What you have here is not so much a rat as it is a flying squirrel. And it's a baby at that. I thought that, oh no, it's a rat, Mom, it's not going to hurt anything. Oh, but she was inconsolable, so I'm like, okay, look, little flying squirrel, I'm just going to catch you and put you outside, okay? Well, I tried to reach for it. The little fucker jumped on my head and jumped over here. I'm like, all right, so I went to grab it, it jumped on my head, jumped over. Oh, you want to play a game, do you? Okay, I can play your game, you little piece of shit. Then he kept doing this, bouncing off of my head. I'm just freaking glad Talon didn't get his camera out. I'm going back and forth. This thing's making a total jackass out of me. And I was like, oh, God damn it! It got tired before I died. I finally managed to grab these big gloves. Now, my mom was on the 2nd floor. And it's a very high 2nd floor. I said to Talon, okay, open the sliding glass door. He opened the sliding glass door, and I took the thing, and I went to the back, and I said, fly, be free! And I turned around, and I heard, some further research suggested that flying squirrels need a certain minimum height before they can, you know. We went looking the next day. We didn't see any little corpse. So we figured either it got away or a fox had a nice dinner. Either way, nature wins. I am grateful for your kind applause, ladies and gentlemen, but this has been my hour. This is Uncle Kage's story hour, so I'm afraid I must vacate the stage. Oh, I'm sorry, there's something coming at me. What is this? It's a gift from Unc'e, a giant flask that I can put booze in. It's not big enough. All right. Well, we'll talk later. It's a heavy-duty, durable construction, holds all liquids. These guys know me. I want to thank Unc'e for this lovely belated gift. And I promise I'll say nice things about them now. Eventually. But I also want to thank the attention of this kind audience and particularly the talents of Mr. Fox Amore for backing me up. Thank you very much. And I know it is humorous to say backing me up. I think pretty much he was doing the music and I was providing the spoken accompaniment. So once again, Mr. Fox Amore, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Moore, aren't you doing a concert later? When is that?
Oh yeah. Tomorrow night, 7:30.
7:30 in this room. You'll all be there, I hope. Save that seat. The second one, that's my seat. Don't let anybody say tomorrow night. I'm going to be there. That's my seat. But once again, thank you all very much for your kind attention. If you want to hear more stories, invite me back next year. Good night.